What's up YouTube, Jamie the Kid 00 here, coming at you guys with, as I promised, the Reaper version of my Prophecy builds. I'm really quite enjoying testing this deck. I definitely really think that Priestess is better, but the explosiveness and the fun you can have with a Reaper variant, it almost makes me want to stop playing the Priestess build, just because when you actually get the plays off, it's really quite fun. One thing I can say about this deck is it's definitely a lot more budget than the Triple Priestess build, because there isn't really that much expensive stuff in here until you start going into the spells. So, if you want to build Prophecy but you don't think you're going to be able to afford Priestess, I guess this is the deck for you. Either way, I'm just going to get right into the list and talk about why we're playing certain things, because this is quite odd compared to some of the other lists, like the list that Vexicus has come up with. Right, let's start off. I'm playing 3 copies of Reaper of Prophecy. This is basically the win condition card of the deck. He's awesome. Basically, the whole objective of this deck is to try and keep a constant 5 spellbooks engraved, so you can have this guy activate all of his effects when he comes out, which means he comes out, and he's 26, gets to search you any spellbook, and he special summons a level 6 Dark Spellcaster. Well, basically, that's what he's going to be focusing on summoning. That's basically the only reason we really play him. It's just the fact that he can come out and then +2 you by adding an extra guy to the board, and then searching you a book to hand. So he really does some quite good plays. Gives you a rank 6 toolbox in your Xyzes to play with as well. And to be fair, 2600 followed by a Prophecy Destroyer is nothing to really laugh at. Especially seeing as like one of the biggest decks in the meta right now is Mermails, and their most constant big beater is 24. So Reaper gets over that. Then we play, to accompany the Reaper play, 1 Prophecy Destroyer. Prophecy Destroyer is really cool in this deck. It's going to be even better when Fortune of Prophecy is out, or Wheel of Fortune, because of the fact that when it banishes stuff in this deck, you don't really have that many ways to get the banished stuff back, whereas Wheel of Fortune is like an Avarice for remove from play stuff. So Destroyer is really good, but it only gets better soon, and there's a lot of milling in this deck, so when you mill Destroyer, you then have instant access to him. Then we're playing 3 copies of Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. A lot of people play 1 in the Reaper variant. I was cutting it down to 2, but I ended up making it the 41st card to play 3 again, because opening 1 just puts you in such a good position that I really just did not want to lessen my chances of opening it. And there's lots of ways for me to get to it in this deck, but I still just really wanted to open it. Really wanted to have it. So I chose to play 3. Then I played 2 copies of Fool of Prophecy. This card is the card that you will basically use to get Reaper out. You really want to get to this as fast as possible. I didn't want to play 3. Something about having 3 when I played the deck just really had it clog. But this guy, every turn he's going to Foolish Burial a spellbook, and every turn, if he does use his Foolish Burial effect, if you have 5 spellbooks engraved, he can then tribute himself to get you a Reaper, and then in the end phase, and then Reaper's effect will go off. So, pretty good, pretty good. And then the last Prophecy monster I play is Stoic of Prophecy. This is player preference, and a lot of people dislike it. But I'm playing the Stoic because it gives you access to your Fools of Prophecy. It's searchable off of Apprentice Magician, and when it's milled, this effect will activate. So it's quite versatile in the deck. Also, it's really awesome when you Book of Life it back, tribute it for your Reaper, and then the Reaper will get its effect, and you'll get your Fool search as well. So, well, you get to be able to search a Fool out of the deck as well, so I really like Stoic. It's player pref, and I guess some people will not play it, so take it out if you want to. Like, it could be the 41st card that you cut, but I like it. Then for the non-prophecy stuff, but still spellcasters, I play double Apprentice Magician. Apprentice Magician is good in a variety of ways. Apprentice Magician gets you quick access to your Stoic, your Spellbook Magician, or Instant Destruction, which we'll talk about in a minute. But it also adds survivability to your field, for the fact that you can go, set this, and if your opponent summons a monster, they can attack into it. You can get a Book Magician, set the Book Magician is of course set. Then next turn, if you've been dead drawing your Reapers, you can flip your Book Magician, search out a spellbook, and then tribute it off for your Reaper. So it gives you survivability for cards, which stops Reapers being so dead in hand. Because one of the biggest problems I had with this deck, and the reason why I added this engine in, was I was drawing Reapers very dead, and I had almost no way of getting them out without using Spellbook of Life to revive something, and then tributing that thing. But I felt that was a massive waste, so I ended up adding this engine, and it's been pretty good. Then I play 1 Old Vindictive Magician. This is, again, accessible destruction. If your opponent has a big monster and they're beaten down on your Apprentice Magicians, you can just get this card and pretty much stop any OTK right there. Like, if they've got an Abyss Dweller, then yeah, you're in trouble. But if you get this, you're stopping any OTK right in its tracks. So, it's pretty good. And then the last 3 cards in the deck are 3 copies of Lila, Light Sworn Sorcerer. These are basically replacements for Breaker. In your Priestess build, never play this. Play Breaker. But these are in here because they're 1700, so they're kind of just as good as Breaker muscle-wise, except they don't get to 19k when they have a counter. They are your instant back row destruction on a monster, but also they give you a mill. They allow you to mill cards, and in this deck, milling spellbooks is a pretty good thing to do. I mean, it's still kind of awkward because you might mill cards you need, but I mean, even milling some of the monsters, you have Book of Life so you can revive them, so you have... The milling really isn't that bad in the deck. So that is the monster lineup. You really do want to try and mill early game to try and get those 5 books engraved. Then you can worry about how bad a position you're in. For the spells, we play 1 Reborn, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Heavy. Of course, you've got to play all that. 3 copies of Book of Secrets, because Book of Secrets is Book of Secrets. You've got to play it in every build you play. 2 copies of Master, because when you go Book Magician, get Secrets, get Master, get Tower, you automatically have 2 books engraved. So your 2 books are, you know, into your 5. I played 1 Tower. I only liked 1 Tower in this variant because, to be fair, you don't really want to be putting your books back that often. You want to try and keep your Reapers live. So if I have this out, I'll kind of usually hold its effect, because if it dies, it will get me a level 6 if I have 5 books engraved. So it'll get me a level 6, get me a Reaper, and then Reaper's effect will go off anyway. But I'll usually only use it to cycle books back in when I really need that extra draw. So it's kind of iffy for me. I wouldn't play 2. I'd side the second for decks that play field spells, but I don't feel that maining 2 is very good. Then we play 2 copies of Spellbook of Fate, which is incredibly live in this deck because of the amount of back row that you will have, but you want to be careful about how many you banish, simply because, as you will guess, it will shut down your Reaper plays. But Spellbook of Fate is so powerful, and I'd really recommend playing it regardless, but just really be careful about how you use it. Then we play 1 life. I cut this down from 2. I was playing 2 in the original build that did not play the Arcane Apprentice Magician, sorry. Because in the original build, you needed this to revive a Guided Tribute for Reaper. Now that you have Apprentice Magician, it's not really that frequent, and it's very searchable anyway. So you've got your 1 searchable Reborn. I don't really think you need any more than that. Then, to keep our Reaper plays alive, we play 2 copies of Spellbook of Wisdom. Basically stops your opponent responding to the Reaper with bottomlesses, etc., etc. And you're still going to get your search and your special summon off of that, but you still want to keep the Reaper, don't you? So it just helps in keeping your board alive. Then we play 2 copies of Spellbook of Power, because what's better than a 2/6 Reaper, a 3/6 Reaper, because it's going to swing over basically anything in the meta and get your search, so why wouldn't you? I bumped up Spellbook of Eternity to 2 compared to the Priestess build, because there's quite a bit more banishing in this deck, what with the Fates, and you really want to try and keep stuff kind of coming back out of the banish zone. So I felt that the double Eternity was better because it gives me the ability to toolbox my banish zone and get stuff back to activate it and put it back in the grave. And then I play 1 Spellbook Star Hall because we're going to be kind of turboing our spellbooks with this deck, so why would we not play Star Hall and make stuff huge? It's also a really good heavy storm deterrent, because while it's out, your opponent heavy storms it, you're going to get a search, so why not? I really like Star Hall in this variant. Then for the final cards in the deck, well, final spell cards, we play 1 Monster Gate and 2 copies of Reasoning. These cards are really interesting. They aid in your milling, and they also get you a free summon. The Monster Gate is really awesome in tandem with your Book Magician, because it basically makes the Monster Gate a 1-for-1 instead of a -1, by going Book Magician +1 in for your by searching a book, and then Monster Gating off the Magician to try and find yourself basically a bigger monster. And it's pretty good. Even if you end up getting a Stoic, that's still a Stoic. The only monster you really don't want to hit off of the gate is probably another Book Magician, because anything else you get is gonna be good. So I really like Monster Gate in the variant. And then the Reasonings, they're like Monster Gate without a cost. I mean, even if they call 6, oh boohoo! I'm gonna mill my way through my monsters, and I may get a mini monster, and then if I get Reaper in the grave, oh well, I'll just Book a Life the Reaper back out. So there's no real loss to these cards, I guess, unless you hit a Book Magician, which you don't want to do, but it happens, and it's still a monster that you can tribute for your Reaper. Then for the final 3 cards of the deck, which bring it to 41. We play 3 copies of Threatening Roar, because on DN in testing I never wanted to cut this because there were so many OTK plays that I would have just outright lost if I didn't have this. So it puts in so much work. It's chainable traps, so their MST is relatively dead, so I don't see why you wouldn't play it. I really like this card. But that is the main deck. On to the extra. The extra is a bit hodgepodge because it really kind of doesn't matter. A lot of the synchros are in here just because you will side, I think you side 3 Vela in my variant. I didn't build a side for this video. And the Exceeders are a bit more relevant. But we play the Catastor, the Librarian, again, Spellcaster, the Tempest Magician because it's a Spellcaster and it's good in time, Arcanite Magician because it's a Spellcaster and it blows stuff up. When you reborn your opponent's Vela, you can synchro with a Reaper to make this guy, which is really good. Stardust because Stardust is Stardust and if you can make it, you can make it. That's the synchros for the Exceeders. We play 1 Shining Elf because this card is really good in the deck. 1 Daigusto Phoenix because there's more 2s in this variant compared to the Priestess build, so I felt that the Phoenix was really good. Gachi Gachi because you might need to stall. Acid Golem, you won't make 3s as much in this deck compared to the Priestess build, but I mean you hardly make 3s anyway, so Acid Golem for beat sticking. Zen Mains for stalling. Utopia because it's good and generic. Mace Stroke because it's Mace Stroke, it's good for stalling, good for getting over big monsters, setting them, just a good card in general. It's good. And then we play, for our 6s, 1 Photon Strike Bouncer. This is the card you will go into the most off of the Reaper plays, but you can also go into Insecta Exobeetle. Exobeetle is in there because Photon Strike Bouncer doesn't give you removal. Exobeetle does. Exobeetle lets you destroy your opponent's monster, well, send your opponent's monster, so it deals with any Zen Mains, etc, etc, etc. So it's just good to have. And then because we play the Exobeetle, we play the 1 Gaia Dragoon, the Thunder Charger. Either way, guys, that has been my Reaper of Prophecy build. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope this kind of gives you some guidance on how to play your Reaper of Prophecy variants. And I hope this kind of shown you a few kind of tech ideas, new ideas, because I tried not to really net deck this. I tried to go with what I felt the deck needed to play. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know changes you would advise, because I'm really enjoying playing this, and I'd really like to make it a little bit better, because it's still not that good, sadly. But yeah, if you've got any changes you want to suggest, please hit me up with those. Otherwise, like, comment, and subscribe as per usual, and I'll see you guys next time with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. Bye!